Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Straight Facts Commentary where I give you my unpopular opinions in everything pop culture. So please stick around and subscribe for more. Hey y'all, I am back again with another video, and you see the title, we are going to be talking about Megan Thee Stallion and her album and whether or not it flopped according to you guys. So let's go ahead and get into that. If you're interested in that, female rap, pop, conspiracy theories, trending topics, my unpopular opinions, whatever I feel like getting into for real, then go on ahead and subscribe and let's get into it. Also, don't forget, we are doing a Q&A at 5K. So subscribe if you haven't already. If you're just sitting around lurking, don't do that. Subscribe. And let's go ahead and get into it. Also, to start off, I just want to say I'm doing this video like a 1 day before the official tracking week is up. So it's been 6 days. The official tracking week is 7 days. We got the overall numbers. Now, if it does change slightly between the numbers that it's saying 6 days into the 7th day, the projections was 64K. If it ends up changing slightly up by a couple of thousand, it could be between 64 to 70K. So I'll just say that in case it did move up a little bit by the next day. Whether it's 64K or whether it's 70K within that range, what is and is that considered a flop? So before we get into her newest project and her newest debut, let's kind of revisit her last project. So a lot of people were comparing the sales to her newest album, Megan, to Traumazine. So I have that here. Okay, so we have here Traumazine debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200 with 63 album equivalent units. Okay, and so it does seem as though her newest project, Megan, hasn't done too much more better. A little bit better than Traumazine, but not astronomically better. So it's not like, oh, we're sitting at 100K or 200K or some light years higher than her last project. So that's one reason why a lot of people that I have seen have been calling it a flop, because they're like, okay, you haven't really progressed in your sales from your last project. And if you have, it's only by a few thousand. It hasn't been like this monumental jump or anything of which it's like you've gained new audiences or you've gained new sales and you've gained all of this massive acclaim comparing projects. Now, what I will say in my personal opinion, and upon recording this video, whether it ends up being 64K or 70K, I would have thought that the sales would have been a little more, and I'm going to tell you why. Basically, I feel like I thought it would be a little bit more just because we did have like songs like Hiss that ended up going number 1. So I thought maybe due to that being the case that the sales would be a little bit higher for the album. Also, her being on a really successful tour, I thought that due to the hype of the tour and how everybody was at the tour and how everybody's been loving the tour, and there's just been a lot of people, I thought that the sales would be more because of that as well. Also, another thing I want to bring out, I feel like the promotion of this album has been really good. Like, the rollout and the promotion of the album has been great. She's been on interviews and she's been doing TikTok dances and music videos, and everything has been pretty consistent, pretty active. There hasn't been like a whole bunch of gaps in the promo. Like, we have been consistent all the way up from her first few singles all the way up to now. So taking it back to Hiss and Cobra and all of that time, she's been consistent with this era from the start to the finish, from here to now. You know what I'm saying? So there's been a lot of promotion, there's been a lot of different things. So I thought, on top of that, on top of tour, on top of Hiss, on top of a lot of different, factors, that there would be an increase or an uptick or a spike in sales in comparison to her last project. Not saying it would be like, oh, she's going to sell like 300K or something like that. I'm just saying in comparison to Traumazine, due to just like the seamlessness of this era, I would assume that it would have been more, and because she's been doing a lot to kind of be visible, and there's a lot of visibility and conversation around Megan Thee Stallion for months prior to this release. So that's the only thing that kind of threw me off in terms of that. So I was expecting, I don't know if I would have said 100K. Well, yeah, maybe 100K I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little optimistic thinking that she was going to sell that high, but I thought it was going to be closer to that than further from it, if that makes sense. So, on to the people who were saying that basically, actually, this isn't a flop for Megan Thee Stallion. So, getting the other perspective. So, there was a lot of people saying that this is a flop, but then there are some people who are saying it isn't. And what people are saying in regards to that is that Megan Thee Stallion is independent. So, her not being attached to a major record label, that this is actually good for her. And her being independent, this would mean that these aren't bad numbers for an independent artist. Um, while I do believe that she is independent technically, I mean, because she isn't technically on 1501 or signed to one of her, huge major record labels like, I don't know, Columbia, RCA, huge record label, things like that. I do want to not neglect the fact that she is on a distribution deal with Warner and that she is attached to Rock Nation as a management team, and that most independent artists don't have such connections. So I'm not going to deny that they were definitely resources to Megan, and otherwise artists who are smaller who would not have a distribution team like Warner or have Rock Nation as like an assist or a helper at all in any way. So I don't want to ignore that fact, even though, yes, technically by definition, Megan is independent. So you guys let me know what you feel about that. Do you feel like that these numbers do make sense because Megan is independent? And so, there's nothing wrong with her selling what she sold, or do you feel like due to her association with them that she should have sold more? You guys can let me know that down below. So let's go ahead and get into some comments and just what people are saying about this. And like I said, I'm recording this one day ahead, so it's gonna be between 64 and 70K in units for what she sold, and people are basically talking about how they feel about that. Okay, so some comments read, or actually, this is academics. Megan Thee Stallion, self-titled Megan, has had 30 million streams removed from her latest album, repositioning her at number 30 on global Spotify. Megan Thee Stallion's Megan is expected to debut at number 3 on the Billboard 200 with 64K units first week. Now, again, this is a day early, so it could be a couple of units higher than this potentially when I drop this video. But they said that she was the new queen of rap and that she would outsell Pink Friday too. Now, I never said that. There's not a lot of people, regardless of who they are, that can outsell Nicki at this stage. Like, it's just not really something that's happening. So I didn't say that. I don't know who was necessarily saying that. 13-year-old mixtape, 80K first week. But they said that she was going to outsell Nicki. What happened? Traumazine did 63K units. How did she only increase by 1K with all this hype? But I thought the anime kids and Barty gang got her. Till my old tape sold more than your album. Drop a tear. LMFAO, it went down, flopped. Y'all couldn't buy her album and go make her to number 1. Wait, I thought the GP was on her side, but she has 3 Grammys and a number 1. How could this have flopped? But she's a girl's girl. Why did this person tweet so much? But she's a girl's girl. How could this happen? Hottie said that she would beat Lawrence Hill's record. Really? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember seeing that. Hottie said that she would come and end everyone, but it looks like she ended herself. But she's been in the game 7 years. How come she didn't get a number 1 album? But I thought her album was highly anticipated. Real flop girl-ish. Curry Boy Steven said that she was coming for a number 1 debut. I don't know who that is. First week sales. I guess there's a Nicki diagram here. Not it's lower than last prediction. OMG. Nicki knows. She is finished. Not even Desiree or Jay-Z could save her from flopping. I thought Megan was the new queen of rap. Whoever said that, though? I don't know who said that. Not a decrease. Notice how Pink Friday 2 couldn't do this. Where did everyone go? LMFAO. But I thought she ended Nicki. Tanked. She should play basketball. What the Y'all are a mess. Oh god. Pink Friday 2 outsold. Scarlett 72K with no features. She tanked. Giddy up. Okay, so you guys know Stan Twitter is going to have a ball. They're going to have a field day. But I never expected her to. I mean, I don't know what the hotties or Stan Twitter was talking about, but I never expected her to outsell Nikki. A lot of people aren't going to outsell Nikki at this stage. I don't think that that should be the girl's goals at this point. What I will say though is that I feel like at least she's stable. She didn't sell that much higher than her last project. I will say that. But I feel like she's stable. She didn't decrease. So her last project was what, 63K units? She didn't go down to selling 50 or 40 or 30 or 20. That would be really bad. That would show that like she's losing support, she's losing fans, she's losing, at least she's stable. Yeah, is it like a super high like astronomical debut? No. But she's stable and I think that that's good, but I did expect for her to have sold just a little bit more, given just the circumstances that I mentioned earlier. But you guys let me know. Maybe you guys feel like it's solid and, whatever, or maybe you guys felt like it flopped. I want to know all your thoughts down below. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.